Hey, what's up, Scott Balcom here with Imagination Creation Films, and today, well, we are talking about this little guy. That's right, this cute, adorable 11 to 20 millimeter Tokina cinema lens. Ooh. So before we talk about this tiny, amazing cine lens, I want to ask that you go ahead and click subscribe to this channel. We are a growing community of filmmakers just like you. And well, you know, we talked about it and well, we all in agreement. We think you'd be a great part of this group. So click subscribe and the little alert bell. That way you know when all the cool stuff is coming. Well, because it'll let you know. So go ahead and do it. I'll wait. Nah, just kidding. I won't wait. But yeah, I mean, seriously. No, all right, go ahead. And also remember, support me with all the stuff down below, you know, as you guys have done so well. I appreciate you. So let's jump into Tokina. If you followed me for a while, you know that I have a love of what Tokina has been doing for the last several years in the cinema glass world. They have really tackled some pretty impressive glass mountains, if you will, with the Vista Primes and then the Vista Ones. And they have really created some extraordinary glass that is even larger than full frame. Those lenses do come at a price for both size, weight, and, well, price. And, well, I mean, they're worth every penny. But Tokina realized that not everyone could afford the Vistas for day-to-day use. And, well, not everyone needed a larger than full frame glass. So they developed their smaller series of cinema glass. First the 11 to 20, then the 50 to 135, and soon a 25 to 75. And let me tell you, these things are pretty fantastic. Now, today we are talking about the 11 to 20. Full disclosure, Tokina did send this lens to me for evaluation, but as always, I am free to say whatever I want. And if you know me, you know that's what exactly I'm going to do. Now, right off the bat, this little beast is remarkably small and lightweight. I mean, it's sitting on the Komodo right here. That is really small for a cinema lens. It's just under 2.5 pounds, and it has an industry standard 95 millimeter front on it. More on the size later. Now, this is a Super 35 lens, and it has a 30 millimeter image circle. It will cover any Super 35 sensor, but do keep in mind that not all Super 35 sensors are truly Super 35. For instance, Komodo. It's ever so slightly larger than Super 35. So what that means is the lens that is designed for Super 35 will vignette a little bit when zoomed out on the Komodo. Now, it only vignettes at 11 millimeters, and that clears right up at 12 millimeters. So you aren't really losing much. But say on the Red Dragon 6K open gate, it'll vignette till about 16 millimeters. So you may want to shoot it in 5K if you want that Super 35 coverage all the way to 11 millimeters. But also, in fairness, if you are shooting it as a Super 35 camera, well, you should be shooting it in 5K anyway, as 6K is larger than Super 35. And that's where the fun part comes in and where, quite honestly, some people forget about the math. 11 millimeter at larger than Super 35 has a wider field of view than at Super 35. Yeah, so when you shoot your Dragon at 6K full open gate, you're getting the field of view of 11 millimeter Super 35 at 16 millimeter on the open gate. I mean, I know that doesn't matter to some because you're buying some larger sensors to get that wider field of view, but I just wanted to be clear, if also muddy, as to the capabilities of lenses and what you're getting when it comes to lens coverage. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. I mean, a lot of people get that, some people don't get that, and ultimately it doesn't really matter. I just don't want people to say, oh, but it says it covers Super 35 and I have a Super 35 sensor. Well, you don't necessarily have a Super 35 sensor. So make sure you understand that. But you are getting a wider field of view. You get it. I mean, most of you are going to understand it. So let's move on. This is a fully manual lens. It has a 300-degree barrel rotation for focus. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, it has less rotation for zoom and it has even less for iris. But it's fully geared with 0.8 MOD 32 pitch gears. It is clearly, very clearly marked for focus right here on the front. And with my testing, the focus was dead on. 1 foot 6 inches was 1 foot 6 inches. Go figure. Yeah. This is a T2.9 to a T22 lens. And the outside of the lens, as I mentioned before, has an industry standard 95 millimeter diameter here. And then there is an 86 millimeter screw-on thread here on the front. So you could stack filters if you wanted to. You'd thread on some filter here and then use a very lightweight matte box on the front with another filter on front. And then you get stacked filters. The 11-20 zoom through is completely parfocal. What does that mean? Well, that means that as you zoom, you won't have to adjust the focus. It's going to be dead on the whole way. And that's really nice. And it's a little bit of a labor saver at times. And your first AC will appreciate you a lot. They really will. So let's take a look at some of the footage from this lens. Now, some of this footage was provided by Joey Helms, as noted on the images below, because, well, as you can tell, that dude has a serious eye for beautiful imagery. And I've been stuck at home a lot lately with a broken transmission in my car. Yay, me. Well, I mean, that's getting fixed today. So yeah, that'll change. you can see that the glass provides a very crisp image. Bokeh is surprisingly nice, and although not as nice as the Vista Primes, it is quite pleasing. Flaring is nice, it's controlled, but playful. as you can see, playful is one of those subjective terms, but it's a term that I'm sticking with right here, right now. There is no other place I'd rather be. That didn't come off that well, but it's a good song. This lens is well suited for Komodo and say, I don't know, a gimbal? Yeah, this lens is fantastic for a gimbal which is lightweight, compact build. It flies really well. It would also fly really well on, say, a drone. Yep, you put a Komodo and this 11-20 on a drone and you have a seriously capable 6K flying machine. Ooh. Now, I don't currently have a drone capable of lifting the Komodo or even the Tokina lens, but can't you just imagine it flying up there? Well, I mean, there are other videos out there that you could see that have the Tokina on there on a drone. Wink, wink. Yeah, go out there and check them out. So the Tokinas themselves also have an interchangeable mount on the back. So you can change it to many other camera formats. Now, you can do it yourself, but they recommend that you have a professional do it. And the reason being is that you want to make sure that it is done properly so that the focus markings are accurate. Because your first AC was loving you before, you don't want them to start hating you because, 1 foot 6 inches is now 1 foot 8 inches because you did it yourself and you didn't do it right. I'm not saying, clearly you can do it right. I probably can't, but I will pay someone to do it. I kind of have a history of that, so we won't go into that. So speaking of focus, the close focus on this lens is right at 12 inches. So you can get close up and personable in a very wide way. That really just sounds weird, but it's the truth. You really wouldn't get up that close mostly unless you're trying to distort their face. So what are the negatives on this lens? Well, comparing it to stills glass, it is quite a bit more heavy. Also, there's vignetting that can occur on some of the sensors like we've discussed previously, and that could become a problem for some. Now, this lens would almost exclusively live on my Komodo, so it doesn't really bother me really at all. And I would probably use it on my Dragon as well because it is still a very clean and compact, very wide cinema lens. Now, another negative is, honestly, with so many ultra wide glass, you have to use a very, very shallow matte box on it. The reason being is that at full 11 millimeters, that matte box is going to show up right on the edge. So it needs to be very, very shallow. And a lot of times you may just have to forego the matte box altogether and just have a filter mount right on the end there just to keep it out of view. But these are the things we have to deal with when we have very, very wide, high quality lenses. So what are the positives? Well, size-wise, it is a very compact lens with a fairly useful zoom range in the ultra wide territory. Now, there's not very many out there that are this small that cover Super 35 that are honestly this pretty. And I think pretty is a good word. There's not many out there that are this size. So that's a positive. The weight was a negative comparing it to stills glass, but the weight is a positive. The size is a positive comparing it to other cinema glass. Another positive, it is parfocal all the way through, zoom through. It had a 300-degree barrel rotation for focus, and that is really good for precise focus pulls. It is a fully manual cinema lens. And, the most positive thing with this lens is, the look. It has a very Tokina look. Now, it's not quite as perfect as the Vistas, but it's really, really clean. It's not quite as large of an aperture as the Vistas, but it's very usable at T2.9. And it's not quite as expensive as the Vistas either. And there is one more positive that I can share. I can hint strongly, wink, wink, and quickly, because you don't want to snooze on this, for a very limited time, like seriously, you have a couple of weeks max. If you go to the Red Komodo Users Facebook group and join it, well, you're gonna see a pretty impressive discount on this series of lenses. Yeah, the series of lenses. And when I say impressive, well, I mean lower than anyone else. And it's not the group selling the lenses. It is direct through Tokina only. The group just put the sale together exclusively for its members. This is a very, very limited time frame, so I would seriously jump quickly. I cannot say on here how much it is, but I can say they are flying off the shelves right now. Seriously, act fast. And if you don't happen to catch the sale, or you happen to be watching this a couple of weeks from now, don't worry. These lenses are still worth every penny at their normal price point. So that, in a nutshell, is the Tokina 11-20mm lens. And I feel very positive about this little bundle of joy. I mean, I know I say that about a lot of stuff, a lot of the things that I review, but if you haven't noticed yet, I don't really review stinkers out there. Now, I've reviewed some things that weren't quite what I thought they were, but for the most part, I have a strong interest in the products based upon what I've already seen demoed and played with. And as you can guess, yeah, I have my eyes on the Tokina 50-135 next because, well, we'll see. Yeah. As always, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. I try to read and respond to each and every one, even if it's just to say thanks. Don't be a troll down there. It's not going to work. The comments are moderated. We keep a very clean, we keep very constructive, have conversations. Tell me what you think about this lens. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like about it in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Just be nice. There's no big deal. Just be nice and everybody will be happy. Remember, you can support me through any of the links down below. All of it really helps. It fixes my transmission. All of it really helps. And I understand in this trying time of everybody, yeah, pennies are tight, but I appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe, thumbs up, tell it to all your friends. Hurry. Go to the Red Komodo Users Group and join it. Make sure you agree to the terms or you're not going to get in. Yeah, it's a great group. Really is a great group. And yeah, I mean, as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.